Alright, in this lesson I want to show you guys just a few other easy ways to do some adjustments and tweaking, maybe after the fact, sometimes while you're coloring, but just some quick ways to make some big changes without having to redo a bunch of stuff. So in my layers, I have unchecked reference on the flats for now because I'm going to be jumping around selections a little bit. So let's say for the sake of this example, I want to really change the tone of this panel we've been working on and shift the colors around, maybe add some heavy color cast or something, right? So I'm going to go down to my panels layer first, and with the automatic selection tool, just select the whole panel, okay? And in the layers, I've got all the rendering in this one big group for now, and so anything we do is going to be on top of that on a new layer. And so I've hit new layer here. We're on this normal layer under the inks, but above the rest of the rendering, okay? I'm going to change this to, we'll do hard light again. And I don't know, I want to change the color scheme completely. So let's say I get it like a deep green, and I'm just going to color drop that. And it immediately starts to feel like a Saw movie or something, right? But it also, you know, it really flattened our values out quite a bit. You know, everything is kind of a mid-tone right now. And if that's hard for you to see, if you don't really understand what I mean when I say that, or if it's difficult for you to see that the values are kind of compressed, another way you can sort of look at this is to make a new layer, put a gray over the top of it, and set that layer to color mode. And that will effectively give you a black and white version of your existing values. And so, you know, here, other than her hair being dark, most of the other values are, you know, in a very kind of middle tone range here. But if you can see, if I take that green layer off that we just made, we've got a little bit more variety, and they're a little bit brighter, obviously, too, you can see. So I'll just leave that color layer up there for us to look at later if we want. But I want to take this chance to talk about mask again, because I love using a layer mask to adjust things like this. So let's say in this case, I want to change up where that green effect appears, okay? So I'm going to click on the layer and click mask. I'm going to switch to my brush, and right now I've got a black selected. I'm going to two-finger click on my background layer, just so I've got it selected. And now I can paint that effect away in the places that I don't want it. So maybe I want this to look really dramatically lit, and so I'm painting it out. And then on the character, I will two-finger hold on the foreground, switch back to my brush. I'm still on my layer mask, and I'm not going to be really specific here, but maybe I paint it away on one side of her face, kind of. And I'll do this kind of quick just for the sake of the lesson here. And give her like a hard light from, well, no pun intended, but a harsh light from a different angle here. So really quickly, you know, it changes the tone of the scene. It changes how it feels. It changes how dynamic it is. And again, because this is on its own layer, we have the luxury of, maybe we get to this point and say, I don't know, the green's a little much. Well, we can tone it down. We can change the saturation. We can make it more intense. You know, we can play with the brightness. You know, there's lots of things we can do here to adjust this. And it all gives it a slightly different sort of tone, right? Now, here's another quick trick. Let's say that we're starting to get a lot of layers in here, and I don't know, maybe we're close to running out. Are we close to running out? We've used 19, we have 23 available. No, we're not. So I just wanted to check before I did all of this, and then it seemed really stupid when I forgot to resize it or something. So so we don't have to worry too much about layer counts on this, but I'm going to two-finger pinch the mask into the layer. And what that's going to do is apply the mask to the layer, is what they call it. And so now we just have the contents of the layer, you know, in this case, that deep shadowy color that we used on the hard light layer. But because that's on its own layer, remember that becomes a selection. And I'm always bringing this up because Procreate is, again, the selection tools leave a little bit to be desired sometimes. So anytime we have something we can take advantage of like that, I want to tell you about it. So I'm going to 2-finger click on my shadows. Now, I'm going to switch to maybe an interesting bounce color that we don't see much of. Maybe an orangey color, let's say. Really bright. And now, using the shadows as a selection, you know, I can, oh, this is very close to our skin tone. Let me make this a different, let's do that. So now if I paint on this, it again is going to stay on the shadows. I really can't paint into the light now, which is kind of handy when you're doing an indirect light that is not, of course, bright enough to get into the direct areas of light. And again, I'm just kind of scribbling this in here really quick, just to give us something interesting to look at. And again, this is really kind of over the top from our original, but the point is, I just want to give you guys some ideas of some ways to make things dynamic and interesting, and you know, and to also not get too worried about getting stuck in a particular thing you've done. You know, it's like in this case, I accidentally did all of that on that layer, which I didn't really mean to, but I could still like bring all the values together and adjust that as a whole, or start over, because I wasn't there very long.